Hi guys, welcome back to Ask a Lawyer channel. Hope you are having a lovely day. Today I'm back with two stories. First one is about OP, who struggles with her boyfriend's parents as they constantly brag about the money they have. Enjoy the stories, guys, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. So this is a weird situation. Before anyone jumps to blame my boyfriend, I want to point out that he's been on my side this entire time. I'm the one that wants to find a peaceful, friendly solution to this. I know people like to say, you have a boyfriend problem, etc. But he stood up to his parents multiple times now, and I'm the one asking him to stop, because I want to smooth things over and build the relationship more. Anyways, I've been with boyfriend for 2 years and met his parents for the first time 6 months ago. My own family is fairly well off, but my parents are very quiet about finances, so I don't know any concrete numbers. Well, boyfriend's family is like the exact opposite. They talk about money all the time. How much this costs or that costs. They are always remarking about how much someone earns, how much they paid for this thing, how much they could get for something else. Their home is nice, but quite a bit smaller than my parents'. They have lots of nice things though, like luxury cars, expensive electronics, etc. But again, not really things I haven't seen before, but I can recognize when they're nice, and I definitely say so. Well, when I visited them, they kept hinting at how much things cost. Like, oh, we just got a new TV, OMG, it cost us almost $7,000. Or we just landscaped our garden and it was almost $10,000, etc., etc. You get the point. They like to put a number figure on literally everything, and it makes me super uncomfortable because this is not something my family ever talks about. When I talk about things I do with my family, boyfriend's parents also like to ask about how much things cost. Like, I talked about our vacation to Japan a while back. Cue a ton of questions about where we stayed, how much, did we fly business or economy, did we eat in fancy restaurants or just normal ones. It makes me feel so uncomfortable. Boyfriend tries to shut his parents down every time, but I feel bad because I don't think they mean anything bad. Then again, his mom once asked me how much my diamond necklace cost. It was an heirloom, so who knows? And how many I could buy a year based on my current salary. Weird crap like that. I've talked to my boyfriend about this, and he's beyond embarrassed and wants to basically lock his parents in a box until they learn to behave. I eventually get it out of him that they think I'm great, except I'm apparently not impressed enough with their things. They think I'm snooty. Again, beyond the weird questions and behavior, his parents are actually very nice. I don't want to seem snooty, and I don't know how to act more impressed of them. I guess I'm not, really. But should I just make more of an effort to make a better impression? It sounds like there's a class problem here. Sounds like an old money versus new money situation. Boyfriend's family clearly feels that they have something to prove, and using demonstrations of wealth to demonstrate their class. OP's family is clearly comfortable in their wealth and associates class more with etiquette and other markers, possibly education, etc. As OP said, they think OP is snooty, which is weird and rude. They're the ones trying to push the issue, so they're the ones that need to change. I think OP should let her boyfriend keep standing up to them as he has, and realize that it can't change until they change. OP is not the problem here, which means OP also cannot be the solution. Let's go to the next story, guys. It's a long one, so listen till the end to hear my insights and an update. Let me say from the beginning that I do not think I have a right to tell my sister how to parent. If she wants her kid to be called name A instead of name B, that's her decision, not mine. However, this situation is a little odd, and I'm not sure how to feel or how to proceed. I feel I should point out that I love my sister, but she is a narcissist. It was terrible to grow up with her, and she made our lives difficult until she finished college and moved out. Our family is well aware that she originally had a child to snag her husband, who is very passive and codependent, and to get attention. Although she definitely loves her daughter, Jordan, and takes decent care of her, my sister is not an empathetic person and isn't the most attentive mom, so her daughter has become attached to a few other people in the family. That seems to be how Jordan's emotional needs are met. For some reason, kids like me, and she has gotten very attached to me in particular. My mom says it's because I do things for her parents don't usually do, like read to her and let her play with my makeup. Now, when Jordan was a baby, she could be very mischievous and goofy, so I would sometimes say, "Aren't you just a little Beelzebub?" At no point did this offend my sister or brother-in-law, even when my sister asked what Beelzebub meant, and I told her. When Jordan began talking, she'd repeat the word back as Beezy, and it stuck. From then on, she was my Beezy. Beezy-boo. Beezy-weezy has a sneezy. All of the ridiculous crap you say to toddlers. Then Jordan got a little older and went to kindergarten, and she started telling people to call her Beezy instead of Jordan. Again, nobody in the family had a problem with this. The teachers and other students all called her Beezy without issue. Jordan is finishing the first grade, and we were having a little party to celebrate the summer last week. At the party, Jordan asked if she could put on some lip gloss, and I said, "Go ask your mom, Beezy." My sister suddenly snapped and started yelling at me to stop calling her daughter that ridiculous name, because I was calling her the devil, and all of the other kids make fun of her for it. Jordan got mad and said she didn't want to be called Jordan. She hated that name. And my sister told her that was her name, and that was what she was going to be called. Nobody in immediate earshot knew what to do then, so we all kind of sat around uncomfortably and ate our food. I later asked my sister why she didn't want me using a nickname for her daughter, especially since her daughter liked it a lot more and felt it suited her. She came up with two excuses that I think are complete nonsense. It comes from Beelzebub, which means the devil. I would get this if my sister was really religious, but she's what I call conveniently religious. She doesn't go to church, has never read the Bible, and knows next to nothing about the religion. She just mentions God and Jesus whenever it's convenient for her, especially if she's trying to shame somebody. For instance, we had a fight about something completely unrelated, and suddenly I'm a terrible atheist who needs to find Jesus because I believe in evolution. My sister had zero problems with this nickname until this moment. Also, she is now claiming she named Jordan for the River Jordan, but that's a complete lie. She got the name out of a book of baby names that just listed names by letter. Honestly, the only Bible stories she really knows are Noah's Ark, Exodus, and the virgin birth. The rest is just her parroting what other people say. The other kids are making fun of her for the stupid name. I know this isn't true because I work at the school my niece attends. We live in a diverse area, so the kids have names from a huge range of cultures and languages, and nobody bats an eye at Beezy. The teachers and other students have called her Beezy for 2 years now without issue. She is very popular at her school, too, and gets along well with a lot of the other children. Really, I'm just not sure what to do or what to make of this. I can't force my niece to use her birth name, can I? And I get the feeling this isn't about the name, but it's more about my sister's possessiveness and jealousy. I didn't go too into detail about my sister's narcissism and how she tends to behave about Jordan because I didn't want to make the post too long. I should have been more clear. And somebody asked where Jordan's father is. He works night shift 6 days a week, so he makes my niece dinner before he goes to work, then packs her lunch and sends her off to school in the morning when he gets home. They go to church with his family once or twice a month, and they like to garden together. I don't talk to him a lot because he's usually sleeping during the day, and I don't get to their house very much. I, for one, totally understand OP's sister's feelings. It's a huge thing to name your child. It is special. To have that name erased and replaced with a name that means evil, that's pretty upsetting. However, I do think OP's sister needs to work with her daughter primarily on this. But if OP stopped calling the child by the offending name, that would be mature and supportive of her. Otherwise, the drama is just going to escalate. This update is going to need some backstory that I should make clear from the start for a change. Jordan's father is black, and his family is very religious and very into representing their culture and heritage. The church does a lot of spirituals, and his family likes singing them at home too. Jordan loves them. Her favorite is Go Down Moses. She also likes a lot of songs from old musicals we watched together, like Porgy and Bess and Showboat, that reference the struggles of slavery. When she was about 4 or 5, my sister realized she loved those songs and would always sing them, and she tried telling her husband that Jordan was not allowed to listen to that type of music, or watch movies about slavery, or read books about it, because my sister wasn't raised that way. My brother-in-law is usually really passive, but this was one moment where he stood up to my sister and told her that their daughter is half black and can trace her heritage back to the plantations. So, ignoring her heritage wasn't going to happen. My sister will regularly pick this fight with her husband when Jordan starts liking something from African American culture that my sister doesn't like. But if it's something my sister does like a Beyoncé song, no complaints. After my sister yelled at me at the picnic, it was last Saturday, I'm sorry I wasn't clear. I didn't watch Jordan for a few days, partly because I was busy, and partly because I thought I should give my sister some space. This was easy because it's summer, and I'm not taking Jordan home from school right now. She spent a lot of time with my mother and her other grandmother instead. Shortly after I posted my original post, I sent my sister a few text messages to see how she was doing and what she'd been up to, and she sent back, "Don't think I don't know what you're up to. I haven't changed my mind about that stupid name." I told her that was fine. She was Jordan's mother and I'd respect her wishes. She sent another message saying, "Her name is Jordan, nothing else, because that's what I named her." That text becomes relevant later. Her other grandmother actually dropped Jordan off at my house this morning, and she said something like, "Hey Beezy, tell your aunt all about the bugs you found." I was so shocked to hear that name after it had been supposedly banned. My niece told me all about the grasshoppers she'd caught and everything, and then she ran back to the back bedroom to get something. I asked her grandmother if my sister had spoken to her about the nickname and reminded her about the picnic, and she was like, "Oh, she was serious about that? That doesn't make sense. We've been calling her Beezy all week, right in front of her mom too." I asked what my sister had been calling her, and she gave me a weird look and said, "Beezy and JP, like usual. Why?" Before she left, my sister's mother-in-law mentioned that my sister had yelled at her this past week too. Apparently, mother-in-law and Jordan had been watching TV at my sister's house, and a black woman with cornrows came on screen. Jordan told her grandmother she loved her hair. Mother-in-law said her cousin could do her hair like that if she wanted. My sister got angry and said there was no way her hair was getting put in cornrows. Mother-in-law asked what was wrong, and my sister said she didn't know how to take care of cornrows, so it wasn't happening. Mother-in-law told her her son, my sister's husband, used to have cornrows and knew all about them, and she could teach my sister about how to take care of them. Then my sister said, "Well, I don't like how they look." Jordan said, "Aunt Bibi has hair like that, and she looks really pretty. Don't you think I'd look pretty?" Apparently, my sister just said, "No, and don't you do her hair like that. It's hideous." You being the grandmother of her family. Jordan's grandmother said she didn't push the issue because she's not the girl's mother, but she knew it hurt Jordan's feelings, and she was pretty upset about it as well. As soon as Jordan's grandmother left, I texted my sister and said, "I'm only to call her Jordan, right?" "Right." Well, duck. I was furious, but a few users made a good point. Living with a narcissistic parent is never easy. My niece and I are close, and I don't want our relationship cut off, so I need to pick my battles. So once Jordan was all played out and relaxed, I said, "Honey, we need to have a talk about your name. Mommy really wants me to call you Jordan, and I think it's important that we do what she says." My niece got really upset and said that wasn't fair. Her mom called her Beezy herself, and everyone else did. All of her friends call her Beezy. The name is special to her. She loves fairies, and it's always reminded her of fairies. That got me right in the gut. She hates the name Jordan. It was a real mess. So finally, I said, "Well, what would happen if I stopped calling you Beezy?" She said names like that are magical and special, So if I stopped calling her Beezy, she wouldn't be special or magical anymore. I told her she's special no matter what, but she was still upset. I was scrambling for a minute, and then I realized, well, if she wants her name to be magical, we can do that. I asked her if she wanted to make Jordan special too. When she eventually agreed, we listened to some of her favorite songs that mention the River Jordan. And I said, see, Jordan is really special in these songs. That did the trick. She was thrilled. I think I heard Old Man River a dozen times, but it was worth it. Victory! I figured we were all done with this. I could safely call her Jordan. The battle was avoided. So on and so on. Of course not. An hour ago, I got a visit from a very pissed off sister. Apparently, Jordan told her mom all about the songs and how her name was special because of them. And now, my sister is telling me I can't call her Jordan. I asked her why, and she said something like she likes the name now because of those black people songs. I ducking hate that music. I said, I'm really sorry, but Jordan loves it, and it was the only way I could get her to accept me calling her Jordan instead of Beezy. She kept ranting on about how that was too bad. She hated that music. She wasn't raised with black culture, etc. At no point did she mention my niece's feelings. I finally asked her, if I can't call her the name she wants to be called, and I can't call her her birth name, what am I supposed to call her? And she just stared at me, completely blank, for I don't know how long. And then she said in a real nasty voice, just call her whatever you want then. 5 minutes later, she's totally calm and asking me to watch my niece again in a few days so she can go shopping. And by the way, she called her Beezy almost the whole time she was there. It was bizarre. I was a wreck about this comment at the picnic for almost a week, and now things seem much more clear. For me, this confirms that the problem wasn't Beezy at all. My sister is picking fights like this because she is a first-class narcissist. She is jealous that her daughter has a good relationship with other people, and she's mad that her daughter is becoming her own person. Jordan likes something her mom doesn't like? Pissed off. Picking a fight with the adults around makes her feel like she's in control of Jordan again, but doesn't directly come off as or yelling at her daughter. When I look back, this fits a real pattern of behavior for her. The good thing, I don't know what else to call it, is that my sister will rarely watch her daughter for more than one full day at a stretch before she gets frustrated or bored. So I know she won't cut me off. She depends on me too much for childcare. I'm just going to try and be there for Jordan as much as I can, and I won't say it out loud, but when she turns 18, she's welcome to move in with me. She can move in with cornrows and a Beezy name tag while she sings Swing Low Sweet Chariot at the top of her ducking lungs. That feels like the right thing to do. Well, that's just crazy. I'm glad OP found a way to help Beezy/Jordan love her name, and that she got to the bottom of this. It is unfortunate that she is fighting to suppress her daughter's black heritage so much, though. I am afraid that eventually Jordan will just quietly enjoy the black part of her heritage so not to anger her mother. That poor kid will need oodles of counseling with a narcissistic mother like that.